Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, it is a Red Sea, all right? It is a Red Sea, ladies and gentlemen. We could see we are in the top 100 coins, and you can see a lot of coins, I'd say on average, are down like that 8.5 to 11%, right? The markets have been bleeding slowly over the last 2 days, and today they have bled a good amount. Just like, we said it was already going to happen in advance, even like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about that. So we can see these are the top 100 coins. They're bleeding out a good amount. And then we can see if we actually go to 101 to 200, LA, LA is the only, green exception practically with RBN, but you got to remember, most of these coins will still see a big pullback, right? So general sentiment is red. You can see, remember, LPT had a huge pump. You guys were like, I was shocked, and I was like, what the hell? And yeah, that's why it's also probably a bigger dump right now. It's getting some type of correction. That's usually just what happens. ZBEC, right? ZBEC network, had a massive rally over the last 2 weeks. And yeah, so it having a bigger correction is not, surprising at all. So yeah, we can see red. We can even dive into, I guess, the 201 to 300. But most of these coins we probably don't hold or really recognize. Baby Doge, yeah, Nero, Milena. Jesus, Milena fell off. She's barely even a top 300 coin. Which is why I never recommend that coin, because if you were going to invest in one of the families, you should be doing Trump, right? Well, you should be investing in the Trump coin, not necessarily doing him. But we can see if we go to crypto, right? If we go to Bitcoin, we are at $101,000 right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are at $101,000. We did reach at one point even, just a little bit above 100K, right? Like $400 above 100K. We can see that if we go to the markets, right? I have a chart potential, set up. I actually did scalp this. I got in and out very quickly. This was literally my trade idea, right? I knew we swept a big area. I knew we saw higher lows and higher highs on the 5 minute. I said, let me just catch, even a couple $100 move with the right size could make you money. It really could. So I pretty much caught a quick 1-to-1 very quickly. Did something like this. Did something like this. It was a little lower, but practically caught a 1-to-1. It was like literally a 1-to-1. So yeah, very quick in and out, just because I saw a quick opportunity. It is overall risky because the day is still bearish, right? The day is still bearish. So usually see some big, nice recoveries on the next day. But look, we were talking about how this area was practically guaranteed to be swept. We talked about this. Then we said there's also a good chance that this area is going to be swept because that is the last relevant liquidity, right? That is literally going to be the last relevant liquidity. Now, I will say that we did also technically tap into the only relevant 4-hour fair value gap, in my opinion, right? Some may debate that, oh, we could have this one. And you know what? I do have my eye open on it. But I will be monitoring, because if price just consolidates and is ready to go up, then I do believe that we will be recovering very quickly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing a stream. We'll be going over a bunch of stuff as well. Tomorrow is a very big news event. All right, if we actually go Friday, NFP, always impactful for the markets. The markets really blow up. They really move very quickly. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, right? They move very quickly. So I do expect Bitcoin to recover heavily on Friday and Saturday. And yeah, we can see that. So I'm still very bullish. We were talking in the live stream yesterday, and someone did mention that there's actually 92K gap, right? There's a 92K gap. And here's the thing, right? I've seen gaps before on the S&P 500, on certain pairs, like Forex pairs that just are nowhere near it and would take years and years to come back. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't have to necessarily get filled, right? It is very annoying that there's a 92K gap. I will admit, it is extremely annoying because there's always a technically that possibility now. But if we do follow the global liquidity, right, we should be seeing a nice recovery over the next, let's just say 72 hours. Okay. We really, really should. Now, I will say if we don't, then it's going to be concerning because then our liquidity model might be, maybe incorrect, maybe it has to get readjusted. We could already see, right, that overall, in general, the global liquidity is looking to be going up higher than these current highs. These highs are, I believe, 91 days out, was like at mid-July. And we can see if we do start going higher, potentially even higher past that, that would be, let's see, 91 days, beginning of September. So end of August, beginning of September. So, if we do just blast away, that could be altcoin season during, that September, October, November time. But yeah, we can see the model has been historically working. 91 days, 91 days as the last weekly candle, right? And we can see after that, it always just goes the opposite way. If it fakes out, goes the opposite way. Fakes down, goes out the opposite way. So we had this candle right here was the 91 days. And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, that this should be technically, right, the candle that pushes us up. Now, like I said, historically, it always goes the opposite direction first to trick people, and then it goes the right direction it's supposed to based off global liquidity. Okay, so do not worry. Do not worry. In my opinion, obviously not a financial advisor, this is a great time to be buying coins for cheap, right? We talked about this before in the past. We talked about certain altcoins, dropping a certain amount. And we can see, like, if we go to our beloved Turbo practically hit 0.0036, which we talked about being a very, very high probability area, right? We talked about it. So, this may possibly be, if you want, near a bottom purchase. Like we see, there's already some type of reversals. Bitcoin is looking very, very strong at this current moment. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, listen, you guys have to be the judge at the end of the day. You have to make your own call. I'm simply telling you what I'm seeing and what I see in advance, right? Once again, we did call out practically this whole down move already like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Highly recommend joining the live stream 7 p.m. Eastern every single day. Also highly recommend joining the Discord community, as something like a portfolio review, getting you all the news updates and everything that's relevant the fastest could be the difference between, excellence, greatness, and even just doing good in this cycle. But yeah, that is it. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should've, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets.